Good morning, good day, good evening, and welcome to episode 63 of Tech of a Tea. Yeah, 63? Yeah, it is 63, because I did actually have, So I was planning to not do a solo episode today. My plan originally was to have a guest on, and that guest was going to be the same guy I have on every 7 episodes, Super Cosman Connor, good mate of mine. Now, we had everything planned out to do today. I don't know what time we would have done it, probably around, I don't know, 11, because that's the normal time we typically do the podcast. We had that all planned out, and then he remembered that he was actually busy today, and that's fine. He was only free on Saturday. Now, for me, I'm usually not busy on Saturday, so I was like, okay, yeah, Saturday might work, and I realized that I actually am busy this Saturday, because one of my mates is back in town for the first time in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna go play some golf all day, and yeah, because I like golf. Anyway. So we don't have a guest on today. That's going to be the 64th episode, and I guess we'll continue it on from there, from 7 onwards from there. I don't know. I'll work that part out in the future. All I can say now is next week's episode is the episode that is going to have a guest on it. There will probably be some other guests that I arrange at some point, but the nice thing about having these solo episodes like this is I can talk about really anything that I want. And I don't have to deal with the fact that, someone I have on may not have anything to actually say about what I'm trying to talk about. So I could talk about things like, say, the new headphones I bought, and even though, whoever I'm talking to really wouldn't be able to give any input on these specific headphones, I can still talk about these in a way that would actually, keep a conversation going. I think I've talked about this before, actually. When you have a guest on a podcast or any sort of discussion like that, even in a real life discussion, if you're trying to talk to someone and that person isn't, I guess holding their weight in the conversation, they're basically just, listening to what you're saying, and then when the topic ends, they don't really have anything to say after that. When you talk to someone like that, it's very difficult to keep a conversation going, but when you're talking to a brick wall, in this case, a camera, I find it much easier to keep the conversation going. When there's no one here, it's easier than talking to someone who has no input. I don't know why. It's there's probably some neurological, social nonsense answer for why that is the case, and I don't particularly care. If someone knows, do let me know. I don't really care though, so I'm not gonna look it up myself. But if someone else happens to care, I will happily take their input. But yeah, I was saying about these headphones. So I mentioned these in the live stream I did earlier today. I was gonna get a package at some point. It said between 10:15 and 12:15. Now, this was literally the time that I was doing the podcast, or the live stream, sorry. So by the time I walked outside, this was sitting in a box on my doorstep. So if you're curious what they are the Samson SR850s. Now, there's a very good reason I bought these headphones. Firstly, I wanted a pair of reference headphones. So these are reference headphones. That's checkbox 1, that's ticked. They also open back headphones. So you get a, nonsense, bigger soundstage, whatever the audiophiles like to talk about. They sound really good. That I don't understand the technical reasons for why they sound good. All I know is these sound really good. Yes. Anyway, so these specific headphones, if we look up the SR850s, I believe there's a couple of fairly reputable tech journals have labeled them as the best headphones under $50. Now, that's under $50 under $50 US. I was going to say Australian. If they're under $50 Australian, they'd probably be absolute garbage, because then they'd be $20 US. But best headphones under $50, best headphones under 50. And they definitely sound really good for $50 headphones in the US. So I paid $80 for these because the Australian dollar is absolute garbage. Now, I've never actually owned a pair of good... these aren't good if we're talking about, how high you can go up in the high end of audio gear. But they're still, the first good pair of headphones I've actually bought. Like, prior to this, the only headphones I've ever bought were, like, Turtle Beaches. I bought, like, some other random gaming headsets. Basically, the only headphones I've ever owned are gaming headsets. I've never actually owned, like, a pair of just dedicated headphones. And you know what? When you get rid of the microphone from a headset and you just put all the build cost into just the headphones, you can get really good sounding headphones for really cheap. So I didn't expect them to show up this quickly. I think I ordered them like on the weekend maybe. So the fact that they're here now, honestly, I don't know what Australian Post was doing, but they actually did their job well for once. I was testing these out earlier. I got them just after the stream. And while they're not described as, like, you know, bass head headphones or anything like that, they do sound, like, the bass sounds really crisp with these. I'm not a big fan of, like, I guess, you know, like, the Beats style of bass. I've used Beats before, never owned a pair, and it's like, like, smashing into your eardrums. This sounds like how the music is supposed to sound. And I'm liking them so far. Now, I've only tried them out for a couple of hours, so I can't really talk about, like, the longevity of them or anything like that, but they do have some nice creature comforts that certainly going to make them more comfortable. So the previous headphones I've owned have all had, like, the fake leather ear cups. Now, there's two problems with fake leather ear cups. Firstly, fake leather ear cups are very, very prone to damage. So if you leave them anywhere that's, like, really hot and that you get them slightly wet and they sit there for a while, they tend to sort of fall apart very quickly. And that's the exact sort of environment you have when you wear these headphones, or when you wear any sort of headphones in summer in Australia, because you're going to have a lot of sweat there, especially if you don't have, like, a fan on or anything like that actually cooling you down. So these don't have that fake leather ear pad. They have a velour ear pad. And the other problem with the fake leather is when it starts to damage, it starts to get, like, really, I guess, gets, like, sharp edges. Like, I don't know if I can't really show you my seat. If I point the camera down, like, I don't think I can point the camera down low enough. Anyway, my armrest of my chair has the same sort, I don't know if it's fake leather or actual leather, but it's starting to peel. And when any sort of, like, leathery substance does that, it starts getting sharpish edges. And having sharpish edges around your ear cup, or around the ear cup of the headphones around your ear, it starts to make them really uncomfortable after long sessions. Like, wearing them for more than an hour or two, especially if you slightly jolt them around, ends up being really, really uncomfortable. So this doesn't have that problem. I presume there's going to be some issue down the long run with the velour, but I don't know. Apparently they're better. They may be an issue in summer. I don't know. Right now we're going into autumn and winter in Australia, or we're in autumn, we're going into winter whenever winter starts. So it's fine for now, but we'll see how they go in the future. Also, I've already tried headphones before that have, like, a plastic band at the top, and because they have a plastic band, they usually have some sort of padding. Now, this one doesn't. So this one just has, like, I think it's, I don't know if it's, like, actual leather or, like, fake leather. It just has, like, a strap around the top. So it, like, sits on your head, and then there's a metal bar over the top to, like, readjust it. Oh, that's another thing. The way that this readjusts is also really fancy as well. It's not that fancy. It's just, it just seems fancy in my head. So the other headphones I've had, you've had to, like, manually readjust. But with these ones, they're never actually locked in place. So whenever you, so they'll always, like, have these little springy mechanism here. And whenever you actually put them on your head, they will actually just readjust themselves. Now, in my case, they actually just stay at the smaller size because I have a fairly small head. But if you have, like, a really big head, they will sort of just, like, stretch into where they actually need to sit, which is really, really nice. Now, obviously, being cheap headphones, there are areas where there is some, like, obvious parts that were cheaped out on, like around the joints for, like, the ear cups. Like, this is all plastic here. There's no removable cable, so down the line that might be an issue. Obviously, these ones aren't because there's only like a fully attached cable. They're not wireless headphones. I didn't want wireless. If I wanted wireless headphones, I could have got I think they're the SR950, if I'm not mistaken. Give me 1 second. I'm pretty sure they're the 950s. No, 950s is a closed back one. I know Samsung does have a open back wireless headphone. I'm not sure what one it was. But the reason I didn't go with the wireless headphone or any sort of wireless headphones, because there are some pretty good reference wireless headphones now. Mainly because Bluetooth is kind of trashy on Linux. Like, it's pretty bad on everything, but Linux especially, it has quite some issues. And the other problem with wireless headphones is I would be prone to forgetting to charge them. So that would be a problem. And if I needed to use them for like a gaming stream or something, I want to know that if I plug these in, they're just going to work. I guess a lot of wireless headphones, if you can plug them in and use them while like they're being charged, but that sort of defeats the purpose of having wireless headphones if you're charging them while you're using them. But this doesn't have that problem, being the fact that they are fully wired. Now I've just got the little 3.5mm jack here, but it does come with a 1/4" adapter plugged into it, so I can actually plug it into my wait, can you see it? I don't know. No. Oh, yes, there you go. So I can plug it into, like, there's a monitor section on my soundboard, so I could do that. I was trying to get it working earlier. I couldn't work out how to get the audio to route through that. I'm probably just doing something really obviously dumb. Maybe it's the fact that on Linux you don't actually have access to the Yamaha drivers. That could very well be the case. Jesus Christ, this is squeaky. I've definitely considered replacing this arm. Like, it's a good arm. It's a perfectly good arm if you're never going to move the mic. But I guess I could fix that problem with WD-40, but there's other things like the way it sort of handles adjustment that isn't the best, and that could be addressed by getting not like obviously a super expensive arm. That's dumb. But there are good, slightly more expensive arms that would work. And I wouldn't get rid of this because these are really good for just attaching other things to as well. Like if you need to attach a light to it, that's actually what I'm using for the light that's... Yeah, there you go. The light that's right in front of my face. I guess off to the side. The one that's close to in front of my face. That's actually what I'm using for that. I've considered... I haven't considered actually moving that light, though, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah. Where's it going? Right, arm. Speaking of arms, speaking of mics, I also want to replace the wind guard. So this is how the mic normally looks. I actually haven't run it like this before to see how it would actually go, but I've considered actually replacing the wind guard, because this is the one I had on my my Blue Yeti, and it fits basically perfectly. Like, there's like a little bit of an overlap. It's slightly longer than it should be, but besides that, it works. It works and does the job basically as well as well as I could ever want it to. But I've considered getting like a different colored one, because right now my setup is getting... My setup is very, very black. Like, my chair is black, my shirt's usually black, obviously my hair is black, then all of this gear is as well. I kind of want to add some, like, more color, but the nice thing about having all of my gear being, like, this very, very neutral color like this is I don't have to worry about any I don't have to worry about, like, synergy or anything with colors. All of this stuff, like, just fits in with any other color scheme. Like, if I was to go and, say, get, like, a... Actually, let's go to eBay and see what we can find. It's been a while since we've done an eBay shop live on the podcast, hasn't it? I think the last time we did it, I was looking for like lights or something. Blue Yeti wind guard? Is it? No, wind guard is a slightly different thing. Pop filter. Yeah, pop filter's gonna do it. Here we go. Okay, technically that's not a pop filter, but sure, whatever. This is a pop filter, but those are black ones there. Let's see if we can find color. I know that you can get colored ones. The question is whether I'm going to be able to find them when I actually when I'm trying to look for them. The answer is no. The answer is no, I'm not going to be able to find them when I'm looking for them. I did actually buy a replacement windscreen for this. I bought one that was too small. Okay, so the one I bought was for a... It was for, like, a small handheld microphone. There's, like, a standard size, like, if you care about microphone sizing. I can't remember what the sizing was, though, and I bought the wrong one. Whereas what I was supposed to get was the sort of one that fits on something the size of Blue Yeti. So that one's still sitting in my drawer, just in case I ever need to use it, which I probably won't. I've also considered getting rid of this altogether and actually replacing it with, like, just a pop filter to see if there's, like, much of a sound difference. I haven't actually, I haven't really experimented with, like, the wind guard on, the wind guard off, and then, like, with a pop filter, without a pop filter, what actually sounds the clearest. I presume a pop filter would sound better, because having something like this on obviously is going to muffle a lot of the noise, and might muffle more of the noise than I'd really want to. I don't know how it's going to sound, so I'm going to put it back on because I know how it sounds, and I don't want to go and, like, stop the recording and check it out, so I will probably check this section afterwards or something, I don't know. But I want to experiment with more stuff like that. I'm not going to spend $20 on a pop filter. You can get ones that are much cheaper than that. Okay, maybe we can't right now because some of them are going to be considerably more expensive. I don't want to pay $30 for it. God knows. And I love... Okay, so here's something I love. I recognize straight away when someone has this exact same microphone arm as me and when someone is just as cheap as I am. So there is so many YouTubers who have, like, hundreds of thousands of subs who I know have this exact same arm. They may not have bought it on eBay. They may have paid more than they should have paid for it. But you can get these on eBay for, like, $20. I know you can get them on Amazon for a bit more, and usually whenever, like, any of these Chinese products show up on Amazon, there always will be, like, a bit of a markup. It's not always like that. Some things I have noticed are a little bit cheaper on Amazon, but usually I'll try to go with eBay for stuff like this. And, wait, I'm sorry, someone's selling a replacement. Is that a, wait, that's not a pop, wait, what is this? Oh, it actually is a pop filter. Oh, it's just like, that's a weird mounting mechanism. What the hell does that mount to? I have no idea. I think that's some, like, proprietary mounting mechanism, because I don't know what that is. Maybe that bolt in the center there is a standard camera, standard microphone camera mount, but I don't know what these are here. Like, I have no idea. Like, these are little thumb screws. Maybe it's like a locking mechanism. Actually, that could be it. So you screw it on here, and then you have, like, a locking mechanism or something? I don't know. Someone just messaged me on Discord. Why did someone message me on Discord? You know what, I'm gonna check my Discord right now, and it's going to be nothing that we care about. Let's see. I don't think you would have heard a notification. No, because I've got my Discord actually, my audio muted, so should be fine. Actually, I also didn't have a Discord open, so it'd be fine anyway. Now, why did someone ping me? I think it was Will that pinged me. Oh, okay. Well, I was talking about some, actually takes us into one of the topics I did want to talk about. So, it was about a thing I posted about Snapchat in the Discord. I was about how there's a lot of devs I know who do work making Snapchat lenses who get paid exorbitant amounts of money because companies have no idea how little work it actually takes to make a Snapchat lens. So there's a program called Snap Studio that is like the development environment you actually use to make a Snapchat lens. I used to do some stuff with it. My problem is that I don't really have that many ideas, and not having ideas, it makes it very difficult to do something creative. Because the development side is just piss easy. There are people on there who basically have one template of what they do and then just replace new assets in, and those are some of like the official Snapchat lens creators. I think, oh no, I did have Jai on here before. Jai, way back early on, is one, at least he was at the time, I don't know if he still is, Snapchat, official lens creators. Let's see if he's, I don't know if he still is, I presume he is. Let's see. Oh yeah, most of these ones in here are just asset flips. So they'll, or not asset flips, asset replacements. So they'll have like one template they do, especially anyone who's like a 3D artist or animator. Anyone who's not a developer usually will just make one thing and then just replace the assets in there, and you know, people love it because no one really thinks about how much work it actually takes to make a lens. They just want something that's actually kind of cool. Is he still an official lens creator? They've got a lot of creative. There he is. There is Ginny the Woo. He is a living meme, a VFX artist, and a programmer. Yes. Wait, why does that show two different pictures? I'm sorry. Okay. Explain this website to me, Snapchat. So, he has a profile picture here, and then if you go onto his profile, the profile picture is different. Sure. Whatever. But yeah, what I was basically talking about in the Discord was that people like Jai here make a lot of money from companies who don't know how much or how little work needs to be done. And that takes us into this right here. Snap can be sued for fueling a fatal car crash with its speed filter. Now, that does sound bad. Like someone died in a car crash. Do you want to know why? Why this happened? So, here we go. Where is it? The parents claimed many teenagers believed, and that Snap knew they believed, they get a secret achievement for hitting speeds of 100 miles per hour. So, this fatal car crash was caused by the fact that there was some dumb teenagers who thought that if they went 100 miles per hour, they would get an achievement on Snapchat. Now, obviously, very bad thing that people died. But I don't think Snapchat's in the wrong here. I don't think Snapchat's in the wrong for people spreading a meme on the internet and then someone doing something absolutely insane with it. But I honestly didn't realize how many people still use Snapchat. Like, I don't really know anyone who still uses it. The only people I know who actually use it are developers who make these lenses. Like, I don't understand like who still uses Snapchat. Like, it baffles my mind that people use this service still. I've used Snapchat in the past before. As I said, I was a lens developer for a while. But I used it as just like a regular person. The thing that made me quit was when Snapchat introduced the Snap Map. The Snap Map was the absolute most insane form of public tracking I've ever seen. So I'm gonna show you what the Snap Map was. Here we go. So Snap Map is a feature that Snapchat had, or I guess still has, where it will show people who you're friends with where you're located. So that's fucking no. It was such a dangerous feature, and I believe it was on by default as well. So if say you had, maybe you had a stalker on your friends list, they would know exactly where you were, assuming you had Snapchat installed. Obviously, within the what's the word? The margin of error that GPS has, so within like a couple of meters. But they would know at least enough to say that you're not at home, for example. Like, if it shows that you're, you know, in the next town over, you're obviously in the next town over. So someone would know you're not at home if they had you on Snapchat and you had this feature enabled. That was when I stopped using it. But even before that point, I never really got the point of like, hey, look, you can send a thing. And then it just gets deleted within a couple of seconds, except that there are ways to not delete stuff. Like, you can... Hey, you can't take screenshots, you know, unless you run Snapchat inside of a Android emulator, and you just take screenshots from your system like that. So even though you can't take screenshots or you can't record video, you could still always do it. It was such a weird way of marketing, and you know, people still use this service. But the whole thing with the messages get deleted, like, that just makes conversations difficult to have. So there would be times where I would be talking to someone and they sent something, I didn't see it for like a couple of hours. I then replied at that point, and they had no idea what the fuck I was talking about because they couldn't remember what they'd sent a couple of hours ago. So it just made having a conversation way harder than it ever needed to be. It was perfectly fine if you wanted to do like the like Instagram thing, like, hey, look, I'm out hanging with my friends. Oh, that's cool. You're out hanging with your friends. What a great night. That was fun. If you wanted to just like, you know, do the stories thing. Stories sort of that made sense to an extent. That made sense, and it makes about as much sense now that it's on things like YouTube and Instagram. But the whole like messaging and the messages get deleted, except they're not deleted because Snapchat keeps records and you can save stuff easily. That part just baffled me. Even though like this isn't like, oh, I'm just like out of touch, because like Snapchat was big when I was in high school. So like it was like in the perfect, I guess I was in the perfect age group to be using this service, and I just didn't get it for honestly years. The only reason I used it is because I had a group of friends who only talked on Snapchat. To be fair, if they weren't talking on Snapchat, they were probably going to be talking on, like, Facebook Messenger, so not exactly much of an upgrade. But at least on Facebook Messenger, even though your data is still being harvested, you can at least, like, have a conversation that has some level of continuity in it, rather than just, like, you know, making stuff up as you go and trying to hold a conversation. God. These Zoomer services. Speaking of, I guess this is just gonna be like a news episode, and there's gonna be news from like weeks ago. News that just catches my eye, because that's what happens. And because, you know, tech sites love to talk about social media, I guess there's gonna be a lot of social media-y news. Social metery. That sounds like a good idea. Social metery. It's a social network where you share meat. Not your personal meat, but like the food you're eating. People are going to share their meat, though. Anyway, moving on from sharing your meat. Twitter is introducing I guess they're testing in iOS and Android, a new feature known as Tip Jar. Now, what this basically is the ability to, I guess, send money to your favorite creators. Basically like a super chat for Twitter. Now, why? Who the fuck cares what someone on Twitter has to say? There's gonna be people that make a lot of money from this. Honestly, there's gonna be so much money made from this. From like, you know, Elon Musk, for example, is gonna have a lot of people sending him money. Please don't. If you're gonna send your money to anyone, don't send to fucking Elon Musk. He's at the point where like he's the only CEO who took a pay cut because he has too much money. Don't if you're gonna send money to people on Twitter, don't send it to like a billionaire. Anyone else, like a charity or something. Like, I can understand that, but that's not how it's gonna be used. So Twitter started rolling out a new tip jar feature on its Android and iOS apps, which, as rumored, will allow users to send money directly to their favorite accounts. Tip jar sports, variety payment method, payment options and links, Bandcamp, Cash App. Okay, that actually is useful. So a musician could have their Bandcamp linked to their Twitter. That actually, that is the one thing I'll give you that is useful. All English language Twitter users can send tips starting today, but only a select group, including creators, journalists, experts, and non-profits. Journalists. Yeah, I'm sure journalists definitely are. It's going to be the journalist class, not like journalists. Anyway. Here we go. I want to see what people actually have to say about this. Please tell me you're using other money sharing services as well. Something that's more universal, perhaps. There is more to the world than the USA. PayPal and Patreon seem pretty worldwide. Patreon's a weird one though. I don't know why you'd have Patreon there, but yeah, Patreon's not a good way to send people money. The fees on that are way too high. But PayPal, I get. Twitter, promote my music. Okay, this is very much Twitter. Can you I'd give you Doge. For anyone who wants to sprinkle some teacher appreciation, here is my cat. Oh, it's going to be people who are grifting. Yes. Yes! The Twitter grifting is getting stronger. Okay, if you don't know what I mean about the Twitter grifting, anytime there is like any big event and it's tweeted about, whether it's like, hey, look, some sports event happened. Hey, look, there's some like crisis that happened. Hey, look, there's this. Hey, look, there's that. Anything where there's like a lot of attention to it, there's going to be people. My camera just cut out for a second. There's going to be people in the comment section who are just like, hey, here's my Cash App. Give me some money. Pay my rent. This is so great for artists. Actually, I'll give you that one. Yeah. That actually is a nice feature. Artists and also musicians. Any sort of like creators who use Twitter as a way to like, I guess, promote their content, I actually can see. But most people are probably going to be sending money to like, you know, their favorite Twitter personality. Yay! Also, it counts with dogs. Cash App doesn't change the fact that we still don't have an edit button. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. A couple of people have been asking about this in here as well. How old is Twitter at this point? How many years has Twitter been out? It's been out for a long time, I'm pretty sure. Twitter launch date. 2006. 15 years, and there's no edit button. Why is there no edit button on Twitter? Yeah. God, this website's garbage. But yeah, so Twitter is testing out a tip jar feature because they already, the owner of, Twitter already owns Cash App, so it just sort of makes sense they would integrate them together because, you know, if you own two big companies, you can't just have them as like separate entities. You're always going to merge them together. Facebook and WhatsApp, for example. A huge heads up on PayPal Twitter tip jar. If you send a person a tip using PayPal, when the receiver opens up the receipt from the tip you send, they get your address. Oh my lord. That's hilarious. Oh no. So they're not actually setting it up properly. They're treating it as if you were a merchant. Oh, that's great. Don't eat yellow snow. Exactly. This is going to be abused so bad. Oh my god, I can't wait for the next, like... Okay, does anyone remember the Bitcoin scam that happened on Twitter a while back, where a lot of the checkmark accounts got hijacked, all tweeted out the exact same thing, basically doing, like, a RuneScape scam, being like, hey, if you send me some Bitcoin, I will double it. Literally a RuneScape scam. People fell for it. Wait until this happens again, where some more verified accounts get hijacked and like, hey, send money to my Cash App built into Twitter. Send money to my tip jar. I'll double the money you get back. And people are going to do it. People are absolutely going to do it. I think this is a cool feature, but it's going to be abused. It's going to be abused and it's going to be hilarious. ultimately, also, I can't imagine that Twitter's not taking a cut. Apparently, it doesn't take a cut. Okay, it doesn't take a cut, but it also does own Cash App, which is how a lot of people are going to be sending their money. So, Twitter doesn't take a cut, but, like, technically they do. Yeah. And I imagine the reason why they have these services here, Twitter has enough weight at this point where they can sort of push around the services they don't own and be like, hey, we'll integrate your service if you give us a cut. So Twitter's going to be probably taking a cut somewhere, obviously from Cash App being the obvious one, but I imagine they probably have some behind the door deal, or behind the scenes deal where they are using these services because they are taking a cut from them rather than taking an extra cut on top. But I don't know. That's just me speculating. Something that isn't me speculating though is, what do we want to talk about? This actually happened like today. Today as in recording today, not today as in when you're seeing this. I cannot record stuff in the future. So, Audacity pull request to add telemetry. So, this is 5,000 lines of code were added, okay? To implement the network layer lib curl is used to avoid issues with the built-in networking of the WX widgets. Universal Google Analytics is used to track the following events. And then they're tracking this stuff with Google Analytics. They also assign session IDs, and we use Yandex Metrica to be able to correctly estimate the daily active users correctly. So they are trying to work out daily active users of an application that you have installed on your system. We use Google Analytics, known to have really tight quotas, blah, blah, blah. Also record the IP address that the things are coming from. And as you could probably see, 25 upvotes. 1,800 downvotes, 16 laughs, 2 cheers, 324 confused, and 50 looking questionable eyes. Now we go down a little bit. Oh my god, 313 hidden items. Holy shit. This has gotten so much more popular. Oh god. Currently, okay, now this is just people. This is actually people talking about the actually getting it built in. Okay, let's keep scrolling down to the point where. Wait, what was it? 99. Currently, over 99.97% of the reactions to the original comment are negative. Clearly, the users are overwhelmingly opposed to it. If it gets added, that will be a massive middle finger to people who have used Audacity all these years and will most likely result in a loss of users. Now, I don't have a problem with applications bringing in some form of telemetry. It should always be opt-in. 100% of the time, it should be opt-in. I don't care. Firstly, it's a waste of development time, but if you're going to waste development time, at least make it opt-in. What they should have done is made an issue about it and be like, hey, is this something that you would be happy if we brought in? Not gone and written all of this code first, and then people are going to be like, no, that's fucking stupid. What are you thinking? I know me leaving a comment is not going to stop this feature being included in Audacity, but I want to voice my opposition to this change anyway. Feel free to ignore me if my opinion is inconvenient to you. Yeah, basically everyone in here is saying the exact same thing, where it's just like, tracking bad. Stop doing that. Also, you may want to think about the GDPR. Google isn't known for respecting it, and although it only applies to personal information, the definition of it isn't really precise, and an IP may be considered personal info. That's a good point. Fucking that I didn't even thought of that. Tracking users just opens yourself up to a lawsuit because of things like GDPR. So just not tracking people seems like a much better plan to take. There are two separate issues. Telemetry itself and the sharing of user data with Google Analytics, Yandex, or other third-party for-profit ad-oriented companies. So I can imagine, yeah, that's actually a fair point. If they were just doing telemetry with their own proprietary telemetry system and not integrating with Google Analytics, obviously people would be still rightfully angry about this, but I feel like the reason why they're so angry is because they're integrating things like Yandex and Google Analytics. So they're not keeping the data for themselves, they're passing the data on to these external services where we're not really sure what Google Analytics actually does with the data internally. They can certainly tell you what they do, but that's about as far as you can go. Now, I know that Unfar tweeted, I'm being on Twitter too long. I know Unfar posted on here, and I'm not seeing it because there's a shitload of comments, and not all of them seem to be loading. How do I... Wait. I know Unfar commented on here. I don't know why it's not showing his comment. It doesn't show there's extra comments to see either, so I'm not sure what's going on with GitHub here. Because he actually had a really good comment he actually had to say about it. Where he was basically saying, I thought this was a joke. I can't believe this is actually doing it. Yandex seriously like a KGB front. A KGB cyber front. Yeah, I don't think Yandex is a KGB cyber front. But, sure. Where did Unfar's comment go? But yeah, the whole argument here is like, why does a program like Audacity need telemetry? Like, I get you want to do things like user reporting. That's all well and good. If you want to find out, or if you want to have a system where if the application crashes or some issue occurs, then you want to be able to like report a bug in the application. That I think no one would complain about, and anyone who didn't want to use it would just ignore it basically. But in this case, you don't need to collect things like user IDs, or you don't need to make user IDs and then assign IP address, or collect IP addresses, and whatever other information they decide they feel like they need to capture. Session start and end, errors, including errors with that, usage of effects, sound generators, analysis tools who can prioritize future improvements, usage of file formats, OS and Audacity versions. While that's nothing like super personal, so it's not like they're getting like your host name and things like that. Like that would be completely different. That's still enough information where I can fully understand that people would be completely against what's happening here. I love this change. This is a great change that happened. So they've renamed it from Basic Telemetry for Audacity to Basic Telemetry for Audacity, but they spelt Audacity with a capital. Great change, guys. Great change. I don't know what happened to Unfar's comment. I really don't. If you don't know who Unfar is he's a Linux YouTuber who does audio work. Really good. Like, he actually does professional audio work with Linux. Way outside of my knowledge space to say whether the software he's using is actually good, but from what it seems like, he's doing really good work. So I do respect his opinion when it comes to things like this. I really do hope the devs of Audacity actually do like change their mind with this, because it clearly, like, the users don't want this. Like, maybe there's going to be the regular users who don't really care about this, but the people who actually contribute to your project and the people who actually are really, really involved in it clearly don't want this outside of a very small group of maintainers. And that seems like a good enough reason, if any, to not introduce this feature. Obviously, there's times where you have to ignore what people are saying for the good of the program and the good of the users. But in this case, when basically no one wants this feature here, I think it's fair enough to say that you probably should, I guess, think back on trying this. I realized why I couldn't see Alpha's comment. It's because there was actually more hidden comments. It just puts the hidden comment list in a weird spot. I don't know why, because GitHub's weird like that. I don't usually see threads with like over 300 comments. So I see that GitHub just doesn't really know how to handle them properly. Disabled by default, yes it should be. A user must manually and without nagging explicitly opt in to telemetry themselves. This is what GDPR demands. This is what I expect. Now, I don't know enough about GDPR, but all I know about GDPR is that people have fucking got sued into the ground because of this this European legislation, so I wouldn't fuck with it. That's what I would say. And Audacity is a big enough project where you might get some attention on this, so I would recommend against doing things like that. There was actually another issue that happened recently as well that I want to talk about. This was related to the Kitty project. So this one didn't get anywhere near as much attention because partially because the maintainer of Kitty decided that he wants fucking nothing to do with the discussion here. He's just like, no. So Kitty has this feature where, by default, I think it's every 24 hours. I think that's what the 24 stands for. It will check for an update. Now, it doesn't install updates. It will just be like, hey, server, do you have an update? No? Okay. And someone was like, okay, this probably shouldn't be here. And if someone wants to have, like, automatic update checking, that should be an opt-in feature. That's perfectly reasonable. Like, I don't see any reason against having that as a opt-in feature if you want to opt into it. So this person was going to fix that with their pull request here. They were like, hey, I believe that any kind of opt-out mechanism that connects to a remote resource is an anti-feature. Automatic updates or update detection is a useful feature, but is only a feature, and users should be aware of its existence if it is turned on. And then they were saying that this is normalizing surveillance in GNU/Linux software, and, you know, it should just be disabled by default. And the maintainer of this basically acted like a bit of an asshole about it. So he had, what he had to say is, I disagree. Oh, and for future reference, if you're going to make such pull requests to other projects, kindly refrain from using the term surveillance and misleading, they are beyond offensive. And people were like, wait, Kitty opens up network connections without my knowledge? And how are these terms offensive? Sounds like you're trying to use other terms to shift the focus from any sort of issues in relation to such. And pretty much what he had to say to this is, you don't like the fact that it has functionality to notify you of updates that is on by default? Go use something else. And, stop wasting my time. And next time, spend 2 minutes to Google the issue before posting duplicates and wasting hard work maintainers' time. Now, this thing about posting duplicates is, he's full of shit because there isn't actually a duplicate issue. There is no other issue related to fixing this. This is the first one that exists. So this is him just trying to, like, shift people's focus away from it, because that's not a real thing at all. But this is not how you talk to users who are potentially suggesting fixes to your software. It would be one thing if this guy was demanding this being changed without actually providing a fix himself. He wrote the code. This is a pull request, not an issue. The stuff to fix this is already done. And this guy's like, no. Basically, fuck off, pretty much. Fuck off without as many words, basically. And to be fair, you know what? Don't use Kitty. It's a shit terminal anyway. That use something like, I don't know, Alacrity. Because Alacrity is quicker, even though the Kitty devs like to talk about how Kitty is so much faster. It may be faster on paper, but it certainly doesn't feel faster. That's for fucking sure. And this is on like a 3600X and what, a RX 580. This is a pretty decent system. Kitty feels noticeably slower for me. They can write down on paper like, hey, look, the latency is 15 milliseconds faster. Okay, but like general usage feels slower in Kitty. So what does that matter? If you can show me that if ultimately your metric for speed still ends up in the application feeling slower, I don't care about your metric for speed. It's as simple as that. But yeah, this is not how you act. I hope the Audacity maintainers have like a better way of addressing this. Maybe they post like a community post or something like that and actually talk about this, you know, see what the users actually have to say rather than going ahead and merging all this code. Now, the fact that they've already written 5,500 lines does make me believe that they're very likely just going to push it through, because once you've written that much code, just throwing it away is unlikely to see. But considering the GDPR implications this might have, it probably is for the best that they do throw it away, to be completely frank. In the Kitty case, while people were calling it surveillance, it wasn't surveillance. They were just like pinging a server. It wasn't collecting any data. So that's a very, very different situation. Yeah. I've been talking too much today. I don't know what it is. I keep ending up doing the podcast on like Fridays, and I usually do a live stream on Friday as well. So it's like a weird time where, like, right now I'm doing this podcast at 8:18 p.m. and we started about 50 minutes ago. So we started around like 7:30. And I don't mind it. I actually like doing the night podcast. It gives me time to like plan stuff out. Like when I do stuff in the morning, occasionally I'll miss like really cool topics that happen. But if I do it at this time, like anything that sort of like happens today, it's probably going to be done by the time I do this, because when I'm recording, it's like the morning in the US. So any of like the day stuff has already sort of passed. Any of the news that would have come out is already out, and I can sort of bring all that stuff together with plenty of time to work it out. I may end up doing the put my mic up there so you can still hear me. I may end up doing the clips tomorrow though, because it's gonna be like 9:30 by the time I finish this, and I don't particularly want to do clips into the night, especially because I've got stuff to do tomorrow. By stuff to do, I mean play golf. Stuff to do. But anyway, I was doing my gaming clips earlier. What gaming clips did I actually put together? So, alright. So I've got one on my Dead Cells run that I did earlier, where I actually finally cleared. I finished my first run. It's taken a while, but I finally did it. I did another clip on HoloLive because whenever Runzin's in the chat, like HoloLive always comes up pretty much. No matter what I'm talking about, like at some point HoloLive or VTubers in general are probably going to come up. And that's a good thing, because I love talking about VTubers, and it's always something I can sort of talk about for like multiple hours. I've done one had one on tech naming, so talking about how like the naming schemes of, tech is really bad. So things like the Nvidia cards, AMD cards, Intel CPUs, monitors, things like that, where there seems to be like seemingly my camera cut out again. Seemingly no sort of logic in the way they do it, because they'll have some sort of framework and then decide they don't like that framework after a generation and then do something completely different. And I also did one on my last Valorant stream where the game was completely fucking breaking. It was... I know what the cause was. There was some issue with the specific version of Mesa I was running, and when I updated to a newer version, like, it was perfectly fine. I guess they'd updated something inside of Valorant that relied on, like, a newer feature, and it just didn't work properly. When I went back and tested it afterwards, though, like, after the actual stream, it worked out well. And I'll definitely be doing another Valorant stream in a couple of weeks, testing out whatever new features actually get introduced, because they do a lot of dev blogs, like a lot. Let's actually go to it. So every single week, they release a new blog talking about like what they've done. This is a project that's like really working hard. It's genuinely impressive seeing that they're just this consistent. Like a lot of not just open source gaming projects, like projects in general that are in development don't keep a I guess a log of what they're doing, a blog you may say. Don't keep as good of a log of what they're doing. Oh my god, they have waypoints. Finally. Oh my god. Finally, they have waypoints. Lovely. I'm so excited for that. That's awesome. And waypoints now, or the waypoints show their position on the map in coordinates. Thank you. But yeah, they have mountain names and they show you how like high mountains are, and they name the lakes and oh, that's so good. What is this? What are you doing here? Oh, I don't know what happened here. Wait, there's mounting mechanics? Hold up. Oh, that's cool. You can like... Huh, that's cool. There's just a lot of cool stuff being done. And they, like, you can always see what these guys are doing. And if you want to, like, see... They do everything with, open collective, so you can see, like, where the money's actually going. I personally have, donated a bit to this. Wonder if you can see it in here. Wait, I wonder. There you go. $50 I've donated the project. Actually, no, you can't see it because I've full screened. Where's my thing? Where's Brodie Robertson? Okay, it's not showing it because of the weird way this site does. Ah, here it is. Honestly, I'll probably donate more to the project because I really, really do like this. Also, they have 69 contributors. Valorant is what I wanted Cube World to be. Even though Valorant is still very much alpha software, unlike Cube World, these guys are like always on point with making sure you know what's being added. Like last week they added fucking birds to the game. Why did they add birds? I don't know. Birds are cool though. There's a phoenix. That's cool. And is that a dragon? Also, they completely redid the way that that gliding works. So now there's like, I guess gliding mechanics actually feel like you're using a glider rather than, I guess, being a plane. I think it's a really, really big improvement. I've talked to some of the devs, and the way they do their gravity is really complicated. They actually try to simulate gravity to some extent. Obviously, full gravity simulation would be too difficult and would be way too resource intensive, but do it in a way that actually makes it feel relatively good. They're working on improving towns. They're doing a quest system. They've got the one thing they actually did do that wasn't there last time I played. Oh, sorry, last time before the last time. They now have NPCs that come and like travel through the town, like actually visit the different towns. You can like follow one of the NPCs to somewhere else. They were like, "Hey, I'm going to this town. You want to tag along?" And you can just follow them. They'll walk down the path. They'll go all the way there. It's really, really cool. I don't know what they ultimately have planned with this. I'm sure I could go and find out if I really wanted to, but I am excited to see where this game goes. I want it to get more attention, and I hope at some point, like, someone outside of, like, the open source world actually does, like, someone big outside of this world does actually cover the game. Like, people have obviously covered the game. If you go look up Valorant on YouTube, okay, Mental Outlaw has the biggest, or has the top video on it, and I've actually got a couple of videos on it as well. But that's a... Okay, so this guy has... 10 months ago, this guy did it. I don't know who you are. Paul's Soares Jr. 1.5 million subs. But that seems to be like one of the only... Yeah, most of the other videos in here are from tiny channels. Obviously me, again. okay, that's sure, whatever. And yeah, I would like to see like some really big channel do like a Valorant Let's Play at some point. That would be cool. Maybe do some Valorant streams and things like that. Get this game more attention, get more money flowing to this game, and getting it developed even further. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. It would be really, really cool to see, for sure. But we'll see where it is in like 3 or so weeks. Probably gonna have some other really cool features added into it. I don't know what they're gonna be, but they'll be there. Hopefully, hopefully more work gets done. Oh, one thing that was worked on was there was a lot of work done on the music and the sound design. So there's a lot of sections. There still is a lot of sections of the game that don't have any sound effects. Like the menus have no sound effects, for example, which goes to show that it's alpha software. And there's lots of areas where there can still be a lot of polish to be done. But there's been some work done on like attack sound effects and enemy sound effects and music in different areas. And the music in the game is absolutely amazing. I wonder if I can... I'm pretty sure it's Creative Commons? I don't want to play it just in case... just in case there is any reason why I can't. Give me 1 second. Checking their wiki. Music. It uses original music and graphics. Yeah, okay. I know it's original, but can I? What? How is it licensed? Is another question. Do not play that. Thank you. No, that is not at all what I clicked on. I'm not seeing it. But just go listen, go download Valorant, go listen to the soundtrack. I recommend going and finding a desert. A desert has really, really cool music. Dungeons also have really good music as well, but the desert is really impressive. Like there was one section where I was standing in the desert, looking over a lake with like the clouds going by. It's very peaceful. One thing I do hope Valorant does get is fishing. Now, if the game gets fishing, I will do a 2-hour live stream where I do nothing but fishing. This is why I shouldn't play things like Stardew Valley, because I've played Stardew Valley and done nothing but fishing for like multiple in-game days. Up to the point where I was doing it for like 2 hours real time, just trying to get rare fish. Rare bigger fish, because you get achievements if you get bigger fish. It's like, hey, your record is now like a 6-inch mullet or whatever. Oh, now you get a 7-inch mullet. Wow. Wow. That probably peaked. I'm sorry. But yeah, if the game adds fishing, that will ruin my life. Even if the fishing doesn't do anything. If it has fishing, please add fishing. I might suggest it to them. I'm sure someone already has. Fishing would be cool. The trading system needs work, though. Like, the current trading system with Valorant, it's like an MMO trading system, but you do both sides of the trade. So if you want to, like, buy something from, so, like, a merchant, you will, like, as if you're, like, trading, like, WoW or RuneScape or anything like that. You would take the thing from the merchant's inventory, put it into their trade section, take the thing from your inventory, put it into the trade section, and then a trade is done. I hope they do... I don't know why they built it like that. It's so bizarre. So I hope they do sort of work on improving that. I don't know how to improve it, but I hope they do something. Because their trading system, it's actually kind of nice in a way, because it does it based on gold value. So you don't have to say, give the trader X amount of gold to buy a staff. You can give them, you know, let's say the staff costs 10 gold. You can give them 60 gold and then 40 gold worth of potions, for example, and it just does all the maths for you. Compared to something like, say, an Elder Scrolls game, where if you wanted to buy something, you would have to sell your gear first and then buy it. It just makes the trading a little bit easier in a way. It's just the other parts of the trading system are a little bit funky. I did notice they actually did fix the potion glitch from last time though, where potions were effectively free. So the problem was they had just introduced the trading system when I did that stream, and I guess it was still in its testing phase, just make sure stuff like could be bought and sold, but the price of the potions was like a fraction of a gold, so small that you could buy, I think you could buy like 20 or 30 potions with a single rock, and rocks have a value of like a tenth of a gold. So that's how cheap it was. Because I think it was so small that no matter how much you actually put in there, it wouldn't actually be, I don't think a merchant could hold enough in their inventory to actually go over the value of a rock. That's how cheap they were. I think now potions are like, I think the base ones are like 5 gold or something, and then like the obviously bigger ones go more expensive, like the medium potions might be like 20 gold, and like large potions are 50 or whatever it ends up working out to be. It's not balanced, obviously, but it's set up so they can do balancing later, because God, RPG balancing sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare to deal with, to be completely frank. Speaking of bad segues, what do I want to talk about? I don't know. What do I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. I guess we can talk about a bit of gaming stuff. So I mentioned earlier that I had just finished my... Oh, because I mentioned the clip, didn't I? That I had just finally finished my first actual run through Dead Cells. So the way Dead Cells works is very similar to Hades. In this one specific aspect, where basically you run through all of the areas, killing enemies as you go, and when you defeat the final boss, it sends you all the way back to the start of the game. And once you defeat the final boss, basically it unlocks a more difficult version of the game. Now, Hades, you raise the difficulty for a different reason. Hades, you raise the difficulty because you want to get more crafting materials, and the only way to get those materials, besides wasting shitloads of time farming out gems, which is, you don't want to do it, this takes too much effort. You want to raise up the difficulty so you can actually get those new items from actually defeating the bosses. And Dead Cells, you raise the difficulty because you're not a bitch, basically. That's pretty much the reason why. So, as you actually raise the difficulty in Dead Cells, at least raising it once, what it does is it reduces the number of potion pools that exist. So the way that you can restore your health in, or the way that the break sections between areas work in Dead Cells is in easy mode, I guess normal mode, whatever you want to call it. Every time you finish an area, you get your health fully restored and your potions fully restored. That's not how it works once you go up the difficulties. After you get past easy mode, then like maybe every second area or so is going to actually have a potion pool. So it makes you actually have to not prioritize. Makes you actually have to, I guess, more manage your health, and you have to be a bit more strategic, or you can just get good and stop taking damage. That's the correct way to do it, because ultimately in Dead Cells, the end game strat of Dead Cells is you play the game with the cursed sword. The cursed sword, I believe, is the hardest way to play the game, because ignoring all of the difficulty spikes from actually defeating the final boss and putting in more stem cells, they're called. People usually refer to them as boss cells, but the game calls them stem cells for whatever reason. The cursed sword is a fun weapon. So what a curse is in Hades, in Dead Cells, is basically, at least the basic kind of curse I understand. It seems to be, that seems to be the only curse. Anyway, you die in one hit with a curse. And when you're cursed, yeah, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up somewhere. Any sort of any sort of damage will kill the player, whether that be trap damage or enemy damage. You just die. And the cursed sword is a weapon where you're always cursed. So normally cursed, the way it works is you will. So the way cursed normally works is you will say open a cursed chest. Now a cursed chest is a box that will give you some nice upgrades. It'll give you like some stat boosts. It'll give you some nice drops. And then you'll be cursed until you kill 10 enemies. Or if you go and break one of the golden doors, which you have to pay to unlock, you'll also be cursed for 10 enemies. This one, though, yeah, no. It's just always cursed. There's no way to get rid of it, from what I understand. So basically, you're free to pick up as many cursed chests as you want. And just get as much gear as you want. And there's a run that you can go find on YouTube where someone's actually using this and just fucking running through the entire game. It's insane how good you can get at this game, because I'd make dumb mistakes constantly. And this guy was like running a shield as well, and I've been trying to learn how to parry. The thing about running the shield though is you can't take, or you have to do parries with the shield, because if you block with the shield and you don't parry, you take damage. So, that means you die. So you have to make perfect parries and get through the entire game without taking hits. And that seems fucking insane to me. Because there's some bosses like the Concierge, which have really weird attack windows where I find it very difficult to dodge. Like, the Concierge, for example, has this red electric force field, which you can get through if you dodge at the perfect frame moment to dodge it. I can't get my timing right on it though, and I don't know how this guy managed to get through it with the cursed sword. I watched him do it, and it just baffles me how he got through the attack. But you also get an achievement for completing the game with this, and it's probably the hardest achievement in the entire game to get. The weapon's curse mechanic remains active even if it's merely held in the backpack. Huh. Jesus Christ. Oh my lord. This is just an insane weapon. Insane way to play the game. But hey, if you have multiple thousands of hours of if you have multiple thousands of hours in the game, you got to keep challenging yourself somehow, and this certainly seems like a way to do it. But yeah, you can still get cursed from other things, but because you're instant death anyway, it genuinely does not matter, to be honest. But you can also, I guess there's also, like, things that synergize with it as well. Alienation makes it so decreasing the curse counter restores 5% HP. Okay, that's useless. Consuming food curses you. Also useless. Okay. I thought there might have been synergies with the cursed sword. It doesn't seem like... Yeah, it doesn't seem like there are. Okay, so the only thing that's not a one-hit kill is the darkness in the Forgotten Sepulchre. So the Forgotten Sepulchre is a fucked area. It's not that difficult, actually. It's pretty easy once you know what you're doing. So the Forgotten Sepulchre has this mechanic where if you stay in the darkness too long, you just start having your health drained. I don't know if it's supposed to be like insanity or what it is, but if you're in the darkness too long, you start losing health. That's the only thing that doesn't insta-kill you, because holy shit, getting through the Forgotten Sepulchre, if that did do it, would be fucking insane. It's pretty easy to get through it without taking darkness damage, but even so, if you even slightly fucked up and took the tiniest millisecond of a hit, yeah, it would kill you. Or at least it would if they didn't have it fixed. Lightning Bolt is a ranged weapon which deals more damage if it's channeled for an extended amount of time. And also damages the player if used for too long. That's actually kind of cool. You also unlock like new weapons as you go throughout the game as well. Drops from Inquisitors. I haven't got that drop. Drop chance 1.7%. Game, don't give me drop rates like that. So just random weapons like this are just dropped by enemies. I think there's two bosses in the base game I haven't seen yet. So what bosses have I seen? First bosses, the Concierge, Conjunctivitis, and Mama Tick. I fought Mama Tick before, but not beat her. Timekeeper is the second boss. That's a boss in one of the DLC. The Rise of the Giant DLC, which is the free DLC. I haven't fought that one yet. I haven't fought this boss yet either, the Scarecrow. Third boss is the Hand of the King. Oh, there's bosses after? Okay, so the fourth boss... Huh. Okay. But you need to have 5 boss stem cells to get that one. Jesus. Okay, sure. That's gonna take quite a while to get to. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. Also, there's plenty of areas I haven't gone to because I haven't actually played the DLC yet. So I need to actually go do that as well. And some areas, I guess, you can't get to unless you have more boss stem cells. Huh. Okay. Anyway, Dead Cells is a really fun game. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm very happy for Ronson that he told me about this game. Like, I love Hades. Hades is fun. I want to go back to it at some point, but I definitely prefer Dead Cells. My problem with Hades is it's a bit too visually active for me. I find myself losing focus of where my player actually is, but I don't have the same sort of problem when I'm playing Dead Cells, because Dead Cells it's a 2D side scroller, whereas Hades is an isometric game. So also Hades it's prone to becoming a bullet hell, which makes it very difficult to understand what's going on. Whenever I play a bullet hell, I notice my eyes tend to drift looking at the bullets rather than looking at where my player actually is. Speaking of bullet hells, though, there actually is a game I want to try out on my my main channel. I heard about this on Gaming on Linux, which is a great website if you want to find games and have too many games to fucking play. Way too many games to play. That's Mindustry. Wait, I know I looked this up. I'm gonna see if I can find it, because it's not in my history for some reason. Gaming on Linux. Let's see. Surely it'll come if I look up this. Yeah, here it is. So this is Taisei, which is a Toho fan game. And being a Toho fan game, it's a bullet hell. It's a fucking bullet hell. I want to play this on stream. I haven't played it yet, and I've only played... I think the only Toho game I've played is Embodiment of... What is it? Embodiment of Scarlet Knight. Is that it? Is that what it's called? Toho 6. What is Toho 6? Embodiment of something. Toho 6. Scarlet Devil, not Scarlet Knight. I know Knight's in one of the names, but Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. That's the only one I've played. I hear that's the hardest one. I'm also bad at it, for obvious reasons. So this will be fun to play. Go to the official site. Apparently you can play it in your browser as well. I wouldn't want to do that. That sounds like a terrible idea. Actually, that sounds like a really, really terrible idea, to be honest. I would want this to be like as performant as possible. The web port is experimental. Yeah, I wonder why. I've got my my desktop audio muted just in case there's some audio that shouldn't be heard. Holy shit, that's fucking loud. I'm gonna turn this down. Jesus, that's so loud. Yeah, this is certainly a game in your web browser. Wow. let's go into hard mode. I'm gonna just play this for like 2 seconds. And just see. I thought the game froze for a second. Yep. Oh, also because it's in my web browser, my plugins are gonna break it. Oh, it doesn't seem to have a I wonder where the hitbox in this one is, actually. I don't know where the hitbox is. So, I think, wait, it might be in the dead center. So, okay, here's the thing with Toho games, and bullet hells in general. Usually you can get hit for most of your character model, but, like, there's one section of it where you can't get hit. So, it'll be, like, usually the center of the character, and a lot of the time, it'll actually be marked. In the older Toho games, it wasn't. Yeah, in the older games, it definitely wasn't. And there's, like, mods for some of them to actually, you know, fix that bug. Because it's really annoying to play any sort of bullet hell when you don't know where your hit point is. Because when you first play it, you usually assume, like, oh, yeah, you're going to have, like, the entire model being hit. Because most games that you play are sort of like that. It's just a very different way of, playing through a game. It takes a while to get used to, and I'm definitely not used to it. But if you watch some, like, high actually, I might show you. Obviously, this isn't going to work for the audio guys, but let's say Toho 6 Lunatic. Toho 6 Lunatic. I wasn't actually clicked on the thing. Lunatic no death. Like, this is how stupid this game can get. I'm going to skip ahead to a random point. Nothing happening there. Let's go ahead to a boss. No, that's fine. Oh, here's a boss. Okay. Here we go. Just like, what am I looking at here? This is why I find it difficult to work out what the hell is going on in the game like this, because there's just, like, too much visual noise. Like, way too much. I don't know how well it would work as a stream game, to be honest. Maybe it'd be kind of difficult because of because I would have to pay, like, quite a bit of attention. I wouldn't exactly be able to look at chat, but I would like to try it out at least to see sort of how it's going to go. And the other thing with a game like this is it's very easy to get yourself trapped. So you want to make sure you're not getting stuck at the bottom of the screen when you need to escape from there. And for obvious reasons, yeah, you can get yourself stuck if you don't know what you're doing. There's usually a path out no matter what you do. Most of the time, a bullet hell that's well made is always gonna have a path if you're good enough at the game. You're never actually gonna be stuck unless you really fuck up. But it's easy to really fuck up, to be completely frank. Especially when you're bad like I am. Anyway. That looks fun. This is open source because why not? There's another game that someone else mentioned to me as well. It was a Sonic fan game. SRB2. I think that's what it was. Yeah, Sonic Roboblast. Sonic Roboblast 2 is it's a Doom mod. Because, sure, why not? I'll see if I can find it, actually. Or find video of it. There should be video. Yeah, here we go. Do I still hate Sonic Roboblast 2? Tell me you're gonna show me some gameplay, not just complain about it. Here we go. So, like, it's a Sonic game, basically. It's a 3D Sonic game, so take it as you will. But it's a Sonic game nonetheless. And it's made in the Doom engine, which is fucking crazy. The Doom engine, honestly, is a really powerful engine. I'm genuinely surprised, like, what it's actually capable of. Like, obviously, there's been some amazing games made with it, and a lot of the really popular esports games came from mods of games from a similar era. So it obviously it can do a lot, but I'm surprised you can build a Sonic game in it, like a 3D Sonic game with an engine like that. It just, yeah, it's crazy what it can do. So this might be played on stream at some point as well. The one problem with doing Sonic Robo Blast 2 though is it doesn't have original music. It uses music from existing Sonic games, which should be fine. I don't know though. There may be some weird copyright issues with that. So, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about whether I'll play that, but I would like to. I would like to at least try it out. But I'll definitely be trying out the Toho 6 fan game, and there's plenty of other stuff I'll be trying out. And if anyone actually has any suggestions for like main channel games, so main channel I'm just going to be doing FOSS gaming. I know like people would be probably happy with me playing something else, but I want to dedicate the main channel to just be generally FOSS content. And if I'm going to be playing games, I should probably be giving a spotlight to some of the really cool FOSS games out there. Valorant being one, the Open Spades being another, things like that. I think that, yeah, they definitely deserve attention. And this seems like an obvious way to give more attention to games like this that just wouldn't really get any attention any other way, really. While I don't have, like, the biggest channel out there, I have enough of an audience where I can give some attention to these projects, and if someone wants to go help out, maybe they have some development skill, or maybe they want to donate to the project, or maybe they want to promote it themselves, then this is a very easy way to actually, get some attention onto it. Yeah, I think it's enough talking about FOSS games for now. One thing I do want to talk about is, I wonder if it's still here, actually. Is it still here? Show me. Yes, it is still here. It's not showing me the list, though. Why doesn't it show me the list inside of that version of the screen? Anyway, I can show you it like this. It's slightly off the thing. I'll move it over. So, if we look at, ProtonDB, there's one game on the top list here which really, really, really seems out of place. So you've got things like Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, PUBG, Apex Legends, Rust, things like that. But then there's this random-ass Chinese game, and it's got 2 reports on ProtonDB, and I have no idea what this game is. Now, I'm not saying it's like a problem that there's a Chinese game here. My confusion here is that there's this one random Chinese game. Like, it would be one thing if, like, you know, the Steam top list had a bunch of Chinese games and a bunch of other games from other regions. But the fact that it's just this one really, really confuses me. I have no idea what this game actually is. It's called Tale of a Mortal. I've looked at, like, pictures of the gameplay, and I've seen the game actually happen. I have no idea how the game works. Also, it's an early access game, but, like, it's at the top of ProtonDB. It's been here for a while. I have literally no idea why it's here. Clearly, it's a popular game. There's no English version. You can only play it in Chinese. But, like, clearly it's a popular game. But I just don't know why there's this one Chinese game here. That's what's confusing me. Like, I'm sure there are other games in China and, you know, other Asian regions that are probably pretty popular and probably would make it to the top of this list. But if anyone has any information about this game, do let me know, because I would like to know about it. That's really all I have to say about that. It's been on my list for quite a while. I'd sort of assumed that, like, it would disappear off the top list at some point, but no, it's just stayed here for, like, a month or so, so clearly it's a popular game. I don't know what it is, though. Speaking of popular games, that I do know what they are, I've been noticing that fucking every VTuber has been playing Pokemon Snap. If I look at Pokemon Snap, so okay, we're not seeing any VTuber clips here. Of course we're not. Because we're not seeing VTuber clips when I want to. But like everyone in HoloLive, a lot of I'm pretty sure a lot of the VShojo girls as well, and like independent VTubers, all playing Pokemon Snap. I don't know why. Like, I'm sure it's a good game. I'm guessing, I don't know. Maybe everyone's just like suddenly really excited about Pokemon again. Like, I know this didn't happen when Sword and Shield came out. Like, no one really cared, to be honest. Like, a couple of people played it, but like, did Pokemon Snap always have like this much of like a cult following? Maybe it did, and I just didn't know about it, because I personally didn't ever play the original Pokemon Snap. So, when did it actually come out, actually? Pokemon Snap. Not the new Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon Snap and I are hurt by Joy-Con drift. Oh yeah, there's also issues with Joy-Con drift on the Switch. 1999 on the Nintendo 64. Wait, I want to see how this game looked on the N64. Yeah, that looks like an N64 game. Actually looks pretty good for an N64 game, to be completely honest. Actually looks really, really good for an N64 game. Wow. Okay. Forgot the N64 did 3D graphics. There weren't that as many games with 3D graphics. Like, 2D stuff was still very popular at the time, but, you know, it was PS1 era, so obviously you're going to have to push 3D onto it. Anyway, but this new one is on the Switch, and obviously being on the Switch is a fucking powerful machine, like really powerful, and hey, it looks pretty. Still don't know why everyone suddenly is in love with Pokemon Snap, but hey, if that's what people want to do, then that's cool. I actually don't own a Switch myself. I think it's the only console that I could buy if I wanted to be completely honest. Like, you still can't buy PS5s and Xbox Ones, but how much would it cost me to get a Switch? Nintendo Switch production could be hit by global chip shortage. Okay, we'll take back what I said. Maybe it will be difficult to buy it soon. But for now, I can buy a Nintendo Switch at Big W. What do we get with it? We get the Switch and nothing else. Let's see if we can find a Switch bundle. Nintendo Switch, I guess EV Games? Surely there'll be some bundle we can get. Consoles always have bundles. Or you could buy wait, why would I buy a refurbished version for... A refurbished pre-owned version for $3.98 when I could buy a new version at EB Games for $10 more? I don't know why. I guess you can buy... Wait, does this... Okay, so there's a... Oh, yeah, okay, you do get it. Cool, so the Monster Hunter Edition version, you do get a copy of Monster Hunter with it. I was gonna say, if you didn't, that would be really strange. I guess there's not that many bundles. That's odd. Huh. Yeah, like, with like, a lot of other consoles, you get more bundles. Okay, so here we can get... Hold up. So, there was a Animal Crossing version of the Switch, but you didn't get a copy of Animal Crossing with it. So strange. What a strange time to be living in. I remember, like, back when I bought my my PS3, I got a bundle with that with, like, 2 other games. I got a Control and 2 games with it. I think the way they did it was, like, you got to pick the game, so it was, like, a couple of different... There was, like, a couple of options. So I think I got, like, Assassin's Creed Revelations and, like, Battlefield 3 or something. But I guess times have changed. It's now much harder to get it, much harder to get bundles and stuff. Maybe it's just Australia. Maybe like in the US there have been more bundles, but at least here seems like there's not really that many going on. There's been a couple of games I've considered getting a Switch for, but I already have so many games I don't have time to play anyway. That's my whole big problem with it. Like, I could get it, but like, I have a wall of PS4 games I haven't played. I have a Steam library I haven't played. There are games I'm getting recommendations for that I just haven't played. So adding more to that, just, yeah, it would just be, it would just make it harder to play even more. Oh, damn, okay. I kind of wanted to play, Persona 5 Strikers, but it seems like it's forked, maybe, possibly. You can... it's playable if you disable the cutscenes. Yeah, I want to play a Persona game without the cutscenes. Of course. I know that Persona 4 Golden is only a silver rating. Damn. Oh, on that note, there's actually a Steam sale going for a bunch of anime games right now. I don't know when the sale finishes, so it may be over by the time you see this, but as of recording, I believe it's going. If it's not going by the time this goes up, we'll just skip over the topic, but I'll just double check now. Actually, I'm trying to open up Steam and it's taking up. It's fucking fair share of time to open. Usually Steam sales go for like a week or so though, a minimum. There should be another big sale coming up soon though, I believe. Call of Duty sale. Don't care about that. Devolver Digital. Don't Starve. Wait, did the sale already end? Hold up. I saw this sale this morning. Wait, is the sale... Surely the sale's not already over. Wait, it might already be over. Oh my god. Oh, Lord. Okay, well, ignore everything I just said then. That sale that I was gonna check out, I guess it is done? Possibly? Huh. Alright. Oh, wait. No? Oh. Okay, so, no. It is the anime sale. It ends on the 11th. Okay, well, that's no use for you guys, but there's some cool stuff in here. That you won't be able to buy anyway, because it's gonna... Well, yes, you can buy it at full price. Wow, I could buy SAO Lost Song for $7. Which one even is that? Is that one of the shit ones? Actually, what am I saying? All the SAO games are shit. On that note, actually, do the SAO games run well, on Linux? It's really weird with Bandai Namco games. A lot of them don't run that well, but it's very, very hit and miss. Sword Art Online. Gold for Hollow Realization. Wow, okay. Lost Song has a silver. Hollow Fragment. Which one's Hollow Fragment? Hollow Fragment. Is that the one? Is that like the first game? The really shit one? Oh no, this isn't the first one that's really shit. This is... Oh no, this is the first one that's really shit. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. What am I saying? All the SAO games are shit, but... Oh wait, no, sorry. This is like the second game. Wow, the art style really... Or the art really improved between the games. And there wasn't even that much time between them. Like, look at this. This looks absolutely terrible. Like, look at this... I think, what was it called? Like, the Dark Repulsor. That's what that sword was. That's that one. I think the newest game is Hollow Realization. That's the game based on the Alicization arc. And, like, it doesn't look amazing by any means. Actually looks really shit for the most part. But it still looks... Oh, no, Hollow Realization isn't the newest one. My bad, sorry. They all have very fucking similar names. What is the newest SEO game? Give me 1 second. I just realized you're seeing the complete wrong screen. Okay, you're seeing my upload screen. Well, whatever. My bad. I'm sorry. You get to see the video that's going to be out by the time you see this. Sword Art Online games. What is the newest game? No, not a weird VR game. Alicization Lycaros. God, that fucking name. Lycaros? Okay, here we go. Oh, I just realized I was trying to show you my Steam client and you can't see it. Because... because I'm not sharing that part of my screen. Oops. Properties. There we go. Now you can see it. I'm good podcaster. It still looks pretty fucking bad. But, like... I guess I'll show you how Hollow Fragment looks then. There we go. But, like... here we go. Here's how Hollow Fragment looked. Hollow Fragment looks like barely a PS2 game. I believe this was actually a... I don't know what this was on, actually. I don't believe it was... Might have been a PSP game, or... No, it was a PS Vita, sorry. Yeah, it was a PS Vita game. So, to be fair to it, it is a Vita game. But, like, it still looked pretty shit. The SOO games are really weird, though. Because they sort of throw the entire Sword Art Online story out the window. Like, they'll follow it for, like, a tiny fragment of the game. But then it's just like, hey, we don't like this. We want to do other things. Like the, I think it's Hollow Realization. Hollow Realization is set in SAO and, just continues on from where they left. It's just like, okay, well, Heathcliff isn't the final boss. We're just going to continue on. Or, Alicization Lycaris, whatever it's called. It's just like, yeah, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh just didn't die. It's like, okay. Okay then. Well, sure. Sure, if you say so. Oh, okay, so Yu-Gi-Oh, Alice, and Kirito are just like chilling together in a party. That's cool. Oh, we have Kirito just working with the Integrity Knights, and they're just like all friends. Okay. Sure, if you say so. But then there's like still fights with the Integrity Knights. Like they half try to keep it with the like mainline story, and then half try to keep it with their weird story. It's very strange how they try to manage it. At least like the Naruto games make more sense in that way, where the Naruto games are basically just like fancy adaptations of like source material, and most of the Naruto games work relatively well. I guess the newer ones work relatively well on Linux. Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution is a bronze, but most of them are at least a silver. Like Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I love the naming for the Ninja Storm games. It's great. Like these games look really good actually. They get the styling down very well, and the combat system looks pretty awesome. And maybe I'll play a Ninja Storm game at some point, but like I haven't finished watching Naruto, to be completely frank. I've read up until the war arc, and I've watched up until like 20 episodes into the first series. I need to go back and actually watch all the way through Naruto. It's one of those things that I started doing and then just stopped. Because I realized Naruto's very long. It's a very long series. Same with like when I was reading One Piece. It's just like One Piece is quite long. It's quite long and takes up a lot of your time. And especially if you get like really into something like that. Yeah, there becomes problems there where you will just keep watching and watching, and when there's 500 episodes, or 300, or however many episodes there are in Naruto, you can just keep watching all day, and you won't catch up. At least with, like, a 12-episode series, you will, like, finish the series, and then you can, like, stop. But something long-running like this, if you don't control wanting to watch it, then you'll just keep going and going and going and going and going. And bad things will happen. But, I don't know. Anime's fun. Oh, I saw this, we're getting close to the end of the podcast, but I saw this fairly recently. So, Dark Souls 2 is a video game that has some very questionable level design. So, okay, Dark Souls 1 was really, really good, where it managed to seamlessly make the world flow together. Like, you never felt like, you know, the areas were disconnected. If you went from, like, the main hub area to Blighttown, like, if you would go through, like, the Valley of the Dragons, and then into Blighttown. Like, all of that, like, flowed together. It's not like the sky suddenly changed color or anything, or, you know, you had, like, a lava castle next to, like, a forest. Things like that, which Dark Souls 2 actually does. This scene right here sort of just shows off, like, a weird part of just the weird part of Dark Souls 2 level design. So, here we go. There's a castle in the background here. It's nighttime, I guess? Yeah, it's nighttime. But the sky's fairly clear. Now, when this person goes through this cave here, and we can see, like, you know, sky looks fairly normal. We go through the cave, and this is, like, there's no teleportation here. It's just walking through a cave, and the sky looks completely different now. It's like it's the middle of the night. It's raining. And he walked like 10 meters. Dark Souls 2 is really bad when it comes to its level design. I'm very happy that DS3 did fix that. At least what I've played of it. I haven't actually finished the game, but the parts I've played, Dark Souls 3 does have a more flowy, connected world, where you feel like you're actually exploring this world. Dark Souls 2 feels more like you're exploring a bunch of levels that are connected together. Like that example with the lava castle, for example. Like, that's actually something really bad. It's literally next to a forest. It's like, what? There's no, like, light you can see over the mountains or anything like that. It just doesn't make any sense. It would be one thing if they took, like, say you were in a hub area and you teleported somewhere different. If that's how they wanted to handle it and things were just disconnected like that, that would make way more sense. I could fully understand that. But when you have these connected worlds and things just don't make any sense, it really breaks the flow. The best one has to be going from Prison Tower into the lava castle, yes. The tunnel is basically a loading screen in disguise. Yeah, loading screen, bad level design, effectively the same thing. Like, I don't hate Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is a fun, sometimes fun game. Fucking has its moments where it's not fun. Where it has, like, bullshit boss mechanics. I don't hate it. If you play it without patches, it's broken. Because there's one of the bosses that will attack you through a wall and things like that. And yeah, you're not even in the boss room yet. You just die. It's like, okay, well, how do I beat this? Well, you don't. You get lucky. That's how. You get lucky, and the enemy just decides to be on the other side of the room when you walk in. That's the only way you could win that fight before they patched it. But there's also, like, I think it's like the Rat King, where if you get hit at the start of the fight, you just die because you get toxic. And at the point of that game, at that point in the game, there's no way to clear toxic, so you die. There's nothing you can do about it, because once you're toxic, no matter how, like, what you do, you burn through all of your Estus and you're still toxic and you die. That's as simple as it gets. Not to say Dark Souls 1's perfect, because Dark Souls 1 Well, I think it was resistance. Resistance was actually broken. So if you leveled up your resistance stat, what resistance did was made it so you were harder to poison. But resistance wasn't coded properly, so what happened is you had a gauge on how much poison you could have, and when that gauge cleared out, you were no longer poisoned, right? When you leveled up your resistance, it made the gauge bigger. But that also meant that you could take on more poison. So if you leveled up your resistance, it took longer to fully poison you, but it also took longer for the poison to go away. So the mechanic just didn't work. So it was sort of a joke with Dark Souls 1 that, like, if you level up resistance, you don't know how to play the game. Dark Souls 1 resistance. Resistance build. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was resistance. Was it? No, sorry. It might have been endurance. My bad. Was it endurance? Oh no, it actually was resistance. My bad. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it was resistance. Where, yeah, it just didn't work. I believe they fixed it in the later games. Because it wasn't difficult to fix. You just had to make it do its job. At all. But you always sort of have these problems with, like, the first game in the series. Like, the first Pokemon game, for example, because of some weird integer maths. I think, so, on the Game Boy, you could store, I think there were 8-bit numbers. 8-bit numbers? 250, yeah, 250, 0 to 255. And they did their check wrong. So there was 1 in 256% chance. Or 1 in 256%. Yeah, no, that's correct. 1 in 256% chance where a 100% accuracy move would hit. Would miss, sorry. Which shouldn't happen. It was just a problem of the game design. And first games in any series always have these sort of, like, teething problems. Resistance is a problem with Dark Souls that could have been patched, and they just never patched it. So they just left it broken the entire lifespan of the game. And even in the remastered versions, the problem's still there, and yeah. The consensus among Dark Souls players is that it is a waste to put souls to level up this stat, as doing so doesn't provide enough benefits. Any benefits at all. Literally a single benefit. Also, resistance is not factored into soul level for starting classes. Ah, that's cool. Yeah. Dark Souls 1's fun, though. Dark Souls 1, even though the mechanics were a bit dicky in places, like, you had the ability to wield 2 weapons, but dual wielding wasn't really planned in the game, so dual wielding weapons just made you weaker, to be honest. Just completely weaker. They fixed that in 2, where they actually added in dual wielding, then 3, where they added in sword skills. But I don't think dual wielding ever really made much sense. I guess you could make it work, but, like, there were better ways to play the game. Like, you should just be using sword and a shield, and then just parry strats. Or, if you're going to be using no shield, use, like, a Zweihander, because the Zweihander was broken in every game. Or in the first game, like, Moonlight Greatsword's also pretty good, but I think they nerfed Moonlight Greatsword in the later games. You could still get it, even though lore-wise it didn't make as much sense, but I think it was still, yeah, it was definitely still there in 2. Whether the Moonlight Greatsword was in 3, I believe, I actually don't know, because I didn't finish 3. Not because I don't like it, just because I was playing it during the time I was at uni, and just didn't get around to finishing it. Moonlight Greatsword, Dark Souls 3. Yes, it is in Dark Souls 3. Where to find? Crafted via soul transposition with the soul of consumed Osiris. Osiris? Whatever. You get 12,000 souls if you eat the soul. Cool. Lovely. Or you can make the White Dragon Breath or Moonlight Greatsword. Emits the breath of Seath the Scaleless. the Dark... the Dark Souls lore is one of those weird things. Like, I like my lore to be told to me. I don't like to have to, like, dig through, like, item descriptions and things like that to understand, like, the lore of your game. Just give me, like, a book that tells me the things, or better yet, have a dumb character there that has stuff explained to them. That's great for me. I've never cared much for the Dark Souls lore. Luckily, Dark Souls has an amazing combat system, because otherwise, I would have less of a reason to really care about the game. But I think it doesn't really matter if you don't know what's going on in Dark Souls, because the combat is fun enough as it is. And I think that's my camera's cut out again. I think that's a sign for a good game. Same with Dead Cells. Like, Dead Cells does the same thing where it doesn't hold your hand through the story. You can, like, work it out through, like, item descriptions and stuff, and, like, little things you find throughout the area. I don't care. I really don't. But if you want me to sit through, like, a 20-minute cutscene, well, I might do that. That sounds kind of fun. It wouldn't be super fun for a stream. I would make it work for a stream. I'd probably just commentate over it, annoying people in the process, but what are you gonna do? We're getting close to the end of the podcast now. We're closing in on 2 hours. I wasn't thinking of doing this one for 2 hours, but it sort of just happened, I guess. Yeah. I did have some other things I wanted to talk about. Like, I wanted to talk about Iron Mouse's new costume that got announced, or not announced, that she revealed, like, a week before she was supposed to reveal it. I guess I can show you it now. Iron Mouse Demon Form. Iron Mouse Demon Form. No, definitely don't show me Iron Mouse porn. Here we go. It's with... She was showing it in a stream she was doing with Anthony Padilla from Smosh, because Anthony Padilla is now a VTuber. Anyway, whole other story there. Iron Mouse's new model is adorable, and I love all the new models that a lot of the VTubers have been getting recently. Like, HoloLive's been doing costume week. Iron Mouse has her new costume. There's been some new costumes in the shoujo besides Iron Mouse. It's been a good time to be to be just generally a VTuber fan and liking, like, new stuff like this coming out. So, yeah. I'm not going to get into VTubers here. Maybe I'll do it in a later episode. I'll probably do it in a later episode. I will do it in a later episode. Or just come over to one of my live streams where I'll absolutely be talking about VTubers, because that's what I do. Anyway, before I go, as always, I like to give a shout out to a random channel. Because we are talking about VTubers, this guy doesn't just clip VTubers, he clips many things, mainly CDog VA and Iron Mouse, and also, I guess, Nyanas as well. But go check out Jonathan Gustian, aka the fastest clipper. He will clip stuff as it's happening. He doesn't even let Connor finish what he's trying to say. He will literally clip it as it's happening, put it up on YouTube. He does God knows how many clips a day. I don't know what this dude does for a job, if he's, like, unemployed, if he's a kid that just lives at home, or what he is. But he's clearly constantly watching live streams, constantly clipping stuff. And if you want to just see what's happening on Twitch without being on Twitch, hey, this is a good way to do it, especially if you like, you know, Connor, or you like Iron Mouse, or you like Nyanas, or more Connor, or more Iron Mouse, or Annie. Annie's great, actually. Yeah, go check out Jonathan. Cool channel. Yeah. So, I think that's going to be pretty much everything then. There'll be a link to Jonathan in the description if I remember. May remember, may not, I don't know. I'd like to say, or don't open Caden Live. That's not what I wanted to say. I just accidentally hit my key to open Caden Live. What I want to say is, before I go, I'd like to thank my supporters. So, a special thank you to... Where's my list? Special thank you to Joachim, Donald, Logan, Michael, Andrew, Nathan, David, Will, Brennan, Chica, Bento, Jamie, Joseph, Josh, Mitchell, Peter D, Stephen Thuru, Tony Tushar. There's actually a couple of new names on that list. I think last week, like, 3 new guys joined the Patreon. So, big thank you to those guys. big thank you to everyone else who's been on the list this entire time. Even the $2 guys, like, I appreciate, like, any amount that people want to give me. That's awesome. Like, I don't know why you guys do it, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I know. Now that I've said this, Joachim's going to send me another message being like, this is why I give you money. Like, I know why you give me money. I mean, the rest of them. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Check out my main channel if you're not already watching it. I do Linuxy stuff. There will be news-y videos that come out at some point when I get news, and there'll be other videos, like software videos, when I feel like doing software videos. Gaming channel, I do gaming stuff. I'm thinking of renaming it. I don't know what I'll rename it, but I want to rename it something shorter. I'll work it out later. And this channel, if you're watching the video version, the audio version is available wherever you can find podcasts. Look up Tech Over Tea. It'll probably be on a podcast app near you. If it's not there, hit me up on Twitter, Discord, Mastodon, wherever you want to talk to me, and I will get it onto your platform. If you are listening to the audio version, the video version is available on YouTube and Odyssey. I guess it's on other places like Facebook, I think. I think it's still on Dailymotion, but it may not be. That account might have got banned. I don't know. Because Dailymotion doesn't like bot posting. Even though they don't say they don't like bot posting in their rules. Anyway, that's going to be pretty much everything for me. I am going to go upload tomorrow's videos and probably watch some seasonals. Like Higehiro. And what else is on my list? I actually haven't watched many seasonals recently because I've been watching Sword Art Online. Kyukoku Shinka and Koe to Yobu and Fumetsu no Anata e and Super Cub and Osana Najimi ga zettai ni makenai Dabu Kome. Yes, so I'm gonna go watch some stuff and I'm gonna go. So, thank you guys for watching, and as always, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I'm out. God, I don't know how to end stuff. 63 episodes. Still have no idea how to end a podcast.